right? Give y'all a few minutes and stuff to get up in here because we're having a special live session. Having a special live session to put some things in perspective and definitely help some people because there's some information being put out here that is not very helpful. What's going on, Mr. Robinson? All right. Trucking with Blue Money. What's going on with you, man? I wasn't going to do anything till next Saturday, but good gracious of life, man. I mean, is my audio coming through okay? All right, Brother Phil, what's going on with you? Okay, all right, my audio's coming through good. All right. We'll have us a special session for a particular person that will remain nameless at the time. Okay, Mr. Robinson, appreciate it. Because it's some things that's being posted that isn't making very much sense. And so I'm like, after listening to this particular person's live feed, they seem to be under the impression that information is not being dispersed to a point to where they feel that the information that's being dispersed, you have to pay for it, right? And they want to name other individuals as well. Now, my thing is, again, I'm going to make sure that these people remain nameless at the time, and if you know who they are, then I simply ask for respect, not to put the names and stuff out there, but but they always seem to go after this certain carrier, and then they always go after this certain individual because he wants to charge for the information. And so, what I would say to that person whose information that's being dispersed, right, that you have to pay for it. Because, I seen his posts and stuff like that, and so, like I said yesterday, I'm always looking for information. All right, Mr. Hicks, what's going on with you? But the information that he feels they should pay for, right? If you're trying to wake up the sleeping minds, then you can't remind those sleeping minds the particular position that they're in and say, well, okay, you're trying to wake up people. And if you're giving them a logic for them to stay asleep, then that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do and stuff. When you're in a position based upon class, when a person or, when people are trying to get information, they're trying to change their class because they don't like the particular position that they're in. Then it's up to you. If you're saying that you're trying to sell this brand, then the thing is that you can't be out here just just beating people to the dirt. This is why a lot of people don't go to the gym. Now obesity, obesity being big and stuff like, we know that it's bad. We know everything that comes with it: high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes. We know all these things. But then when you go into a gym, only those who have the drive to get beyond when you have the drive to get beyond what's going to be said to you, how the way you're going to be looked and stuff, sort of this negativity talk, because a lot of people are putting information out there to not help you, but to keep you, just to make you give up. But when you go to Planet Fitness, you don't have it. They say, well, come as you. And this is why Planet Fitness have gyms all everywhere, because it's a place where people can go to and they can change the process of who they are and not have to feel bad about it. That's why they are the number one gym and stuff that's out here. That's the brand that they sell and stuff. They got the lunk alarm in there. When you go in there and start flexing and stuff like that, they hit that lunk alarm and they embarrass you and tell you, okay, up the lunk alarm and stuff. Okay, get up on out of here. They hit that alarm, they alert everybody what's going on and stuff, and then they get you on out of there. You see what I'm saying? So you got that reciprocity that's going on there and stuff. But so again, when you have information, just like what I put out here, I'm always trying to network. I'm not telling anybody that the information that I have is something that you have to pay for, because again, when you're successful, we're all successful. Okay? Just like when one person get out here and does something negatively, it affects the industry collectively. It affects the industry collectively. If one driver gets out here and falls asleep behind the wheel, they think we all doing that. They think we all doing it. One person gets out here and does something recklessly, we're all doing something reckless. That's all it takes is one person to do something negative. So yeah, I'm always with networking, and I don't feel that we're at a position in trucking to where anybody can be charging any kind of information out here. Not in this particular position here where people have absolutely no clue as to what they're getting into. It's like we're getting you get contracts and you really don't know what contracts you're signing. You just know that you want to do a job, you want to be compensated for the job that you do, so that you can move into a position of ownership. A person want a truck or they want a fleet of truck, but all the red tape that goes on. You don't want to get a truck and then have to be paying large amounts of money all the time. You want to get something fair, because the service that you provide is something fair. They're not paying you millions of dollars to deliver freight, so you should not be paying millions of dollars for a truck. But I guess it's over exaggerated, but still, the money for the service that you're rendering doesn't match up to the equipment that you have, the equipment and stuff that you're using in order to do the job. This is why we call it sharecropping. I don't know if people are familiar, with the whole sharecropping process, but that's what it is. Is that you have fields out there that need plowing and stuff like that. In order to harvest, you got to sow the seeds, and so you're being overcharged and stuff for the seeds, for the equipment and all that other stuff there for the land. And then now when the harvest comes, you're leasing the land from the broker or whatever and stuff, and then he done made all his money, but then he telling you in the hole. So he profiting from both sides, his land and then the labor. He doesn't have to pay for the labor because you in the hole. Or they just giving you just enough to survive, until somebody else comes along and stuff. And so when you're not educated enough about the process, stuff, that's why I continue. Oh well, the only thing that we can do is sharecrop. But then someone comes along and starts to disperse the information, and so that person was dealt with. So the networking had to keep down, because they didn't want to inform the masses about the fact that, well, hey, these crops that go to market, they're getting high dollar off of it. They're teaching you how the rich remain rich and how they're keeping the poor poor. So we still got that process going on today with the truck. You got freight that's being moved. You got a lot of things that are going on behind the scene that people have absolutely no clue about. And then not just that and stuff, but they don't want to get themselves informed about the process, because it's a learning process and it's going to take time. But because people think it's too difficult to have some patience, to have some time, and humble yourself to learn these things, they just come up with the whole process and say, oh well, you see, the conclusion is that this person is robbing me. He's taking all this money from you. Look at what they're doing. It's a scam. It's a sham or whatever. That's the conclusion of the matter. But that's not the business entirely. That's not the business entirely. And so then we look to others who learn how to maybe maneuver around some of these leases or whatever and stuff. When I say be mindful of people, because everyone's situation is different. A person who doesn't have children or don't even have a wife, they don't have those family responsibilities. Those people that don't own houses and stuff like that, they're able to navigate a little bit better in these lease programs as opposed to someone who has a family, who has bigger financial obligations, mortgage. They have a car they have to pay for. They may have children in college. You see, so the situation is different. But when people put themselves out there, they don't disclose that sort of information there and stuff. And see, again, that's up to the people. That's up to the people to say, well, all right, I'm getting a basic information, right? I'm getting a basic information or a way to follow to get myself to understand this industry a little bit better. So let me now take the time, energy, and resource and do my due diligence. This is why I always say, continue to do your own research, fact finding studies. Harness on your skills every day. Not for the purpose of me, but for the purpose of yourself. Because people are always discovering better ways, more efficient ways than what I may be putting out here. And see, that sort of networking and stuff, that sort of networking is needed in this industry. Because right now the position that everyone is taking is that, oh well, this is just an industry where everybody's being robbed. Well, why are we being robbed? Why are we being robbed and stuff? And so a person can only give their interpretation of how they feel about this individual, right, personally. But you're not going into any kind of breakdown of the business. And so, when you post little things up here, it makes yourself look foolish. And so, these things got to be corrected because you owe to the people. You owe to the people that you're talking to say, well, stay away from this because it's a scam. Give them the science. All right, Brother Aaron, what's going on? Give them the science. Give them the understanding. Because it may not be a scam. What the thing is, because you notice that with these individuals, every time they go somewhere, it's always something going on at that particular carrier. Oh well, this one is bad, this one is bad, this one is bad. When it may not even be the carrier at all. It just may be yourself. It may be the attitude. It may be the attitude that you have, because a lot of people aren't cut out. They aren't cut out for this industry, period. It's always an excuse. What I'm having a special, I'm going live special because it's certain individuals that are out here that are presenting information, but they don't have the science to substantiate their claim. And so it's something that's going on with them personally. Yeah. Well, it's a lot of misnarratives and stuff, and then they want to blame it on certain things, and they're not giving the complete aspect. If you're getting into this industry and you're talking about raising children, or you got a wife, or if you have some kind of obligation where you have to be home, this is not the industry for you, because you may have the best intention, and everybody may have the best intention in mind, but because it's so many scenarios out here that can keep you from going home. It may be your intention. You might be in a day cab. You may be in a day cab and stuff, man. The law right now, as it stands, you might be 5 minutes away from the terminal, 5 minutes away and stuff. They want that, your time is up. They want that truck parked. You get pulled over by law enforcement. You get pulled over by law enforcement. They're not trying to hear the fact. Some of them are understanding, some of them are not. But you see, you're put in a position now and stuff where that becomes a factor. You 5 miles away now. You have logically and practically. Now, it would logically make sense for you just to go ahead and drive the 5 miles and stuff and just get to the terminal, you know, and just call it a day and stuff like that. You may have the skill set necessary for you to do that. Now, that's logical. But then being practical, right? In those 5 minutes of you driving there and stuff, somebody may be drunk driving. You may have an accident and stuff, or it may not even be you. Again, you got a good skill set, but somebody may run into you. And so when they're looking at it from a practical standpoint, they're saying, well, hey, had you followed the laws, rules, and regulations, then yeah, maybe this person would have been drunk driving, but they wouldn't have ran into a truck. So now you're going to jail. Now you're going to jail and stuff. And so, there's a lot of practical situations and stuff, but you can't have two things at the same time. You can't be both logical and practical. You're either going to have one or the other. And so, people want to talk about now how they're missing out on things. Well, I'm missing raising my child and stuff like that. I got to be home a little bit more. This isn't the job for you, because it doesn't matter whether you drive OTR, whether you drive regional, or you drive locally. There can be a series of things that happen, and it's going to prevent you from getting to the house. So what do you do in that situation? And you may find yourself in those situations a lot, because this business is about providing service, and the service that you provide is transporting goods and services from one point to the next. It doesn't have anything else specifically. Only that. You're transporting goods and services from one point to the next. It didn't say you're going to transport it and be home. That's the logical side of it. Yeah, we like to go ahead, we like to deliver the freight and stuff and then get the truck back so you can go home and get rest and stuff instead of you staying in the truck. So we got day cabs. But the real situation is that you may get to one point and you might get held up. But again, you get held up because you're still providing a service. And that service may require you to stay at a certain place for a certain amount of time, which may take time away and stuff from you getting back to the terminal so you can go home. So your time is up. What do? Well, now we have to do things from a practical standpoint. I got to get you a motel. You got to go get a motel and stuff in there. And when you get up, it's not about, okay, you're going to stay in a motel for 10 hours and then you're going to drive the equipment back, because we fulfill the condition of law, which is getting a 10-hour break. So now we got to get back to servicing these customers, because the only way that we're going to be compensated for our service is if we provide. And we're missing that very basic logic. We're missing that. And we're making trucking more about our personal issues than about the business itself. And the business, it doesn't have anything to do with you personally, nor does it care. It doesn't care about anything. It doesn't care about anything personal. So you can leave that whole process out and let it be about the business 100% of the time. And I can guarantee you that will cut down on a lot of your arguments. Do you think someone who is married and has kids should do local day cab instead of OTR? It was like I was explaining to you, Aaron. This job requires a sacrifice. This job requires a sacrifice, because when everything is said and done, right, it's not like a 9 to 5 where we hit the clock and we get to go home. It's logical thing to do, but again, practically it's not. Anything can happen. All right, what's going on, brother? Mother trucker. It's not a very it's not practical with everything that's going on and stuff. Let me show you something. Okay, this is New York. I'm over in Bronx, New York. This is a very practical thing. It happens every day. Sometimes you can get through here, and it may take you to get from here to the George Washington Bridge. It might take you about 10 minutes. And then some days and stuff, man, it may take you about 3-4 hours just to do a few miles. You see what I'm saying? This is practical, and if you're caught in this, you don't get your time back. You don't get your time back and say, well, okay, you was caught in the traffic jam, so the time that you lost in this traffic jam, and stuff, right? We're gonna give you this time back. Yeah, y'all pull a refrigerator. If that's what you're hearing now and stuff, back there. And again, I apologize if it's too loud. But this is a very practical thing and stuff. It happens. And then, let's just say you live over here in this area. What do? They're not giving you 4 or 5 hours back. They're saying, well, hey man, listen, the 4 or 5 hours went into your working process and stuff, and so to give you that time back will put you in the area of being fatigued, which is a very real thing. Because we got to think beyond ourselves and think about the other people that's out here. All of us are not out here for the sake of business, but we're all out here. We all have to share this one road, and so they say, well, truck drivers got to be a little bit better than everyone else out here. That's a fact. When this is your job, and you got money on the line and stuff like that, you're going to look at things a little bit more. You're going to take things a little bit more seriously than someone that's just doing it for the sake of doing it. You're just out here for fun or whatever. That's why we ain't out here racing trucks and stuff like that. Playing cat and mouse, that sort of thing there and stuff. You don't see that posted up on YouTube. We try to make the best of a situation. We try to, network and stuff and laugh and, anything that we can bring positive and stuff. But to put ourselves out here recklessly, we don't do that. You don't see drivers out here just being reckless for the sake of being reckless. If they're reckless, it's because they really don't know what they're doing. And so, and it's not, like I said, it's not something that they're doing knowingly. We ain't cutting off roads and stuff and saying, okay, let's have a drag race. All that other stuff they're trying to do tricks and whatever and stuff with these trucks or whatever. We ain't doing none of that. Because we got money on the line. This is a business. We ain't out here for show. So I think that a person that's married and a person that has children, you have to really consider what you're doing and make sure that everybody's on board in the decision that you make. And you first got to make, you got to stand firm in your decision too. You can't be wishy-washy, which a lot of people, like they work for a company for 2 months and then they quit and they go work for another company and then they go work for another company and stuff. You got that sense of unstableness and stuff, that's not showing no stability. And so what woman is going to respect that? You don't have no stability. That's not sticking to the plan and staying firm. She doesn't know if you're going to be a provider or not. And so, I try not to get a lot of logic from a lot of fairy tales and stuff, but one of the greatest and one of the coldest lines I ever heard was that show Breaking Bad, when Gus Fring was talking to Walter White about what a man does. That's one of the coldest things I've heard. And I mean, it's a very true statement. It's a very true statement when he was talking about what a man does. And so, you know, let me break into some science about some of the information that was being posted. Right now, 2290 heavy highway use tax schedule 1, it's all the same thing. Keep that in mind. 2290 heavy highway use tax and schedule 1 is all the same thing. Okay, now someone posted, this individual posted this company this company tried that it left this particular person in a bad, messed up situation because they didn't pay their 2019 2020 2290 or heavy highway use tax. Now, they posted up the company that was responsible. So let me tell you the whole process of how it works. Okay, when you go and lease on with the company, they usually take care of your 2290, your heavy highway use tax for you. They file it. And once it's filed, they give you what's called a Schedule 1. That's your receipt. That's your receipt to show that it's been paid. Now, in order to pay your 2290, this is what you have to have. You have to have the VIN number to the equipment. They have to have your EIN number, which is your Social Security number for your business. Yeah, they have to have your VIN number and your EIN number. Once they have those, right, they submit it in based upon the weight class that you run for your equipment. Once it's paid, then you send. They tell you how much that you owe. They tell you how much that you owe to the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS. You cut them the check and you send it there as quick as you can. You send it there as quick as you can. But the Schedule 1 shows you that you have filed it. The receipt shows that it's been paid. Yeah, once you get your Schedule 1, that's it. Then now, the IRS puts it in the system and show that that particular equipment, 2290, has been paid. Now, what happens is and stuff, and this is where the scam comes in at. Let's just say you go and work for a company. You go and you get leased on to a company. They be talking about things like, they'll say things and stuff like sign-on bonuses and stuff like that. Now, your heavy highway use tax, your 2290, can only be paid one time. That's it. Only once. So whoever pays it, based upon, and in order for you to file, you have to have the vehicle's VIN number, and they have to have your EIN number. Once it's paid, no matter who comes behind and try to pay it again, they will not accept the payment because it's already been paid. So, if you work for a company and they tell you that, yeah, we're charging you for a 2290, then what they're doing is that they're just simply taking the money and they're just keeping it. Because the proof that it's been paid was your Schedule 1. And any time that you pay your 2290, whether you pay it or whether the company pays it, you must request your Schedule 1. Your Schedule 1 is proof that your 2290 has been paid. So let's just say you work for a company and things don't work out or whatever, and you want to go somewhere else, and they tell you, okay, well, we're going to get your base plate and everything set up. They're going to go right down there and get the base plate because they can see in the system that the 2290, your heavy highway use tax, has been paid for the year. That's one of the requirements to get your base plate and to get your IFTA sticker. It has to be paid. If it's not paid, then they'll simply tell you it's not been paid. You need to go and get that taken care of. Once it gets taken care of in the system, then we can move on to getting you a base plate and to getting you an IFTA. These are the things that go on behind the scenes that people don't see, But You know, if you go in and you try to get you a schedule, you know, let's just say you quit the company and you try to get your Schedule 1, then the company will tell you, no, we're not, you know, that we paid it. We paid the Schedule 1, even though it may show it's going to reflect on your settlement and stuff that they took it out over a portion of time, which is what they do, you know, in most cases. But anyhow, what the companies do, there are companies that are out here that file your 2290 for you. All right. But what the company, so let's just say you use this particular company, and then the next time you use another company. Well, the only thing that the first company is going to do is going to remind you that your 2290, they're looking in their system and they see that you haven't used that company to file your 2290. And they're going to remind you that you're going to be up for fines and penalties if you do not file. That's if you don't file, period. But you know that you filed with another company because you got the new Schedule 1. Okay? Your Schedule 1, well, your 2290, your heavy highway use tax is always going to be due on the 1st of July. And anything after July 31st, that's where the fines and stuff come in at, right? If you're talking about operating for a full year. Now, where you're exempt, if you can show that you're purchasing a truck, let's just say in August, October, November, December, you know, if you can show proof that you're purchasing the equipment right then, and then you go file, then you're going to be prorated. You're not going to pay the full amount. You're going to be prorated based upon how much time is left during the year. So we're in the 2020-2021 season. Okay? So if you go purchase a truck right now, they're going to prorate you from March to July. And that's what you're going to owe for the rent. You're going to owe for the 2020-2021 heavy highway use tax season. And so he posted up about the 2019-2020. But if you got a base plate through the company, if you went through that particular company there and they used these particular people, then they paid it. Because the only way they could have got the base plate and stuff if it was paid already. And if it was already paid, and somebody paid it, you know, because to my understanding, he was at another company before he got there, and they had a base plate, so he had to pay it somewhere. So just because they don't have it for their records doesn't mean that it hasn't been paid. And it's a simple process of showing your Schedule 1. That's it. Now I know that was kind of a hard process of stuff to follow through, but again, people claim and stuff that this type of information is something that you have to pay for, and I just gave you the whole breakdown right there. But we aren't doing any networking. I gave it to you for free, and I'm leaving it up here. The only thing you have to do is just find this particular section and go right through it. My personal information is up there on my page and stuff. If you're confused about it, you just give me a call and I can walk you through the whole process. In fact, not only walk you through the process, but I can get you to a few people on where you can get it filed if you're talking about filing it, or you can just go right to the office yourself. You can go right to the IRS, because 2290 is federal, which means that you can go to any IRS building. You can go to any IRS building. You can go in there. You can tell them that you're going to pay your 2290, which sometimes is the best way to do it because it speeds the process up. A lot of people that go to the IRS are in there for things other than heavy highway use tax. Some states will let you pay your 2290 right there in the building. They have specific sections and stuff, and I know in North Carolina especially, If you go to a certain place and the line is very short, because even though there are a lot of contractors that are out here, a lot of people aren't going in there to pay that $22.90. It's a very quick and easy process. Very quick and easy process. But we're saying we're not doing any kind of networking. So when you put this type of information out here and then you talk about, oh, this company is a crook. No, they aren't the crooks. You just fooled yourself. And so instead of you doing your due diligence and doing your research necessary in order to cover you, you got to put the blame on others. This is why you find yourself in the particular position that you're in, because you're always blaming others for things that you're supposed to be doing for yourself. And you owe it to yourself for people that's listening to you that want to get into this industry, but at the same time are talking about the fact that we don't do any networking, and the people that have the information are charging. 18 years in the game. And this is the position that I find myself in, is that, we want to talk about everything else under the sun, but yet, you want to get into the industry, you want to get into the business. This is why I keep it about trucking. This is why I keep it about trucking, man. We have plenty of time and stuff to be talking about anything else. But if you're trying to but I know that you're trying to, you have aspirations and stuff of going into business for yourself, and I know that the information sometimes can be difficult. And I know that sometimes extracting information from people can be difficult too. It's a process, because time is of the essence. But if you give me the time, that's why I say text me, let me know who you are, let me know what the subject matter is and stuff, and then once I find guys, once I know who you are, I'm going to work. I'm going to work right then. Okay, what is it that we're going to be talking about? This particular issue here and stuff. All right, so let me start getting some research and stuff down pat. Let me start getting some research down pat. So when we get on this phone and start talking, we're going right in, right there. No, the 2290 and the IFTA are not the same. No, it's cool to network, but at the end of the day, it's a competitive business, so we're competing against. Okay, here's the thing, though, Mr. Hill. It is a competitive business. It is a competitive business, but the harvest is plentiful. It's the laborers, or the information of the labor is few. The harvest is plentiful. It's plentiful. But you see, we're allowing people to come in. We're allowing people to come in and get a large grasp of the business collectively. Amazon, once upon a time and stuff. 5 years ago, you didn't see the trailers and stuff, and the amount of trailers that you see in today. They're everywhere. You can't even park at the TA now, because Amazon has a contract with they have a contract with TA to fix their trailers. The harvest is plentiful. It's the knowledge of the harvest which is few. So getting back to what I was saying about 2290 and IFTA, they are not the same. The 2290 is your heavy highway use tax. Your IFTA is your fuel tax based upon what states that you run. Okay? Your IFTA has to be filed. Your IFTA has to be filed quarterly. It has to be filed quarterly. Just like okay, your IFTA is something that has to be done quarterly, right? Your mileage, the amount of fuel and stuff that you purchase in each state, the miles and stuff that you run. But you got programs and stuff that's out here that keep some real good records. Like, for instance, Rand McNally. Rand McNally got a system inside their ELDs and stuff, man, that the only thing that you have to do is just put in where you purchased the fuel and how much you purchased it for. And this thing will give you a printout perfectly. Everything has been added up, and the only thing you have to do then is just take it to your you have to take it to your CPA. Take it to your CPA and stuff, and they'll tell you how much you owe. They have perfect systems that's out here now and stuff. You don't even have to do paperwork anymore. They got these apps out here and stuff, I mean, that run these things perfectly. You can forget about it. Like, man, you can forget about tracking the miles or whatever, but, you know, as long as you got your fuel receipts, you can go right in there, okay, I bought fuel at this date, at this location, in this state, and you can go all the way down and stuff, and then it'll have it calculated for you. And you can just go down, there and pay it yourself. If you know it's correct, you can go down there and pay it yourself. But it has to be done. It has to be done every quarter, because if you don't do it, then they won't give you IFTA. As simple as that. And you don't want to get behind. You don't want to get behind on that. You don't want to get behind when you get audited. Let's see. Every new person wants their own truck, but are in a position to really negotiate the rates because they need revenue. Okay. Now, when you're always talking, when you should be listening, when you're always talking, which is one of the problems and stuff, especially with this particular person here. They know it all. They know it all and stuff, and so they don't want to humble themselves. They don't want to humble themselves to knowledge. You know, like anytime it's your first time in doing something, right? Like when you go purchase your first car, or you got your first line of credit, they're gonna always hit you up with the, you know, you're not, or when you go get your own insurance, right, for the first time, you're trying to establish a relationship. So they're always going to give it to you on the worst case scenario. If you get credit, then they're going to give you a high risk loan. You see what I'm saying? This is the first time you buy something, because, you know, the history of credit is that most people can't handle it in the middle of something, and so rather than just coming up and be forthcoming and say, well, hey man, listen, this is all I can pay, right? They just let things and stuff continue to stack up, and now you got this large bill and stuff that they aren't going to collect against you, and so you got to go to collection agencies and so on and so forth and stuff. So, you know, they're saying, well, we got to go ahead and get our money off the roof, because there's a good chance we might not collect if we give them something at fair market value. Hey, I'm thinking about going to Lone Mountain. How can I talk with you about business? Very easy. First, go on my YouTube page, get my contact information from up there, or since I already know and stuff, you know, once I jump off this live and stuff, if you want to talk about it, then I'll give you the whole process. As soon as I get off here and stuff. So what you do now, just go on my YouTube page, get my phone number and stuff, and then once I get off this live, just be at the ready, and we'll chop up this good game. But you know, that's the thing there. My man, who's another good person chopping that good game? HT Logistics. He back from the Philippines. In fact, I'm trying to think, when he was on vacation, he was chopping up game. You know, HT Logistics, he ain't charging nothing. And stuff. He telling you how to buy a truck, what to look for, what's a good rate, the whole 9 yards. He ain't charging nobody anything. The only thing you gotta do is just go on his page. He chopping up all that good game. Ain't charging nobody nothing. He keeps saying it. Like, man, look, I'm not charging anybody anything. HT Logistics. Chase and Andrew, there's another one. Chase and Andrew always chopping up good game. But you see, the thing about what they overlooking about these master teachers and stuff is the fact they don't want to go and look at their history to see what brought them to the position that they're in now. They saying, well, you know, dang on, Chase and Andrew's always at the house. And stuff like that. But you know, they didn't follow. You know, for somebody that say something like that, you didn't follow the fact when he was at Knights, when he went over there and got that truck, when he went and got the truck over there with Quality, then he went to Interstate, he went to Big Rock, he went to He went to Great Wide. He went out there to the oil field. And then he in the position that he in now and stuff. He paid his dues. He paid his dues. And he showed you the whole process from start to finish. But they looking at the fact, oh, well, he's always at the home. He's always at the house. He wasn't always home. He wasn't always able to do the things that he's able to do now. So why hate on that process? That man and stuff, he was out there working every single day, being out there in that oil field and stuff. Sometimes loads and stuff didn't come through. What was he doing most of his videos at? In the truck, out there in the field somewhere. But then he dropped one video. Where he took his family on vacation and stuff on that cruise ship, and then he got back. Now all of a sudden, that's why all the hate started coming in at. He dropped one video where he went over there and purchased this truck. Didn't nobody give that man nothing. He went, he worked, he put a plan together. When he got his money and stuff together, he went to the bank. He didn't go out there and beg and grovel, none of that stuff there. He worked. He put in that work. He wasn't able to go home and stuff every day. When he went home, he had to catch a plane. This after working 2 months, 3 months straight. That's the thing there and stuff, is that it was a process. It won't easy for that man. Get phone calls and stuff, getting phone calls and stuff from his girlfriend. I'm pretty sure and stuff, she was worried about him and stuff like that. That process and stuff that they went through. He showed the whole thing. It took him a while and stuff, but then when he got to the position that he was in and stuff, it was something that was well planned out. People, they were talking about firing this man because he way out there in the bush where they know they ain't got no service and none of that stuff there. Now they want to give this man a hard time, but the only time they wanted to give him a hard time when he posted up that video about him going on a cruise. Doesn't he owe that to the people and stuff that sat there and sacrificed with him? Because he wasn't alone. He went out there and stuff. He did a cruise, and it wasn't like he was doing that all the time. It was a one-time thing. Everybody relaxed, taking it easy and stuff like that. And then he got back to business. And then there, all of a sudden, oh man, this dude here and stuff, man. He's always at the house and stuff like that. Of course, he paid his dues. And that's what people got to understand. When you pay your dues, you can do stuff like that. It comes later. You can't get it now. Man. You're talking about, man, shoot, you just got your truck. You just got your truck and stuff. Truck $800-900 a week, and then you talking about being home. Oh, man, you got to work yourself out. You got to work yourself out of that. Get your money. Don't get comfortable in your position. Hey, take full advantage of it and stuff. But if that's the way you had to start out and stuff like that, you got to get into something a little bit better. Get the truck, make the money and stuff, but understand the sacrifice that comes with it. Okay, listen, I got to buckle down because I ain't gonna be paying no $800 a week for no 5 years, no 6 years. I ain't doing that crap. I might do it for about a year, something like that. Once I get my money up, once I get my credit stuff straight, I'm going down here and I'm gonna get my own truck. I might go back to the same carrier because they making money. That's why I say, I ain't got nothing against anybody, like people over there at Prime and stuff. Hey, you want to go to Prime? You want to go to RST and stuff? Hey, by all means, go over there. But get your expenses and stuff down. That's the thing there. If you got to go through this man lease purchase program, then go through it. But make sure that the money that you're getting is going towards getting your business deal. Don't get in it and say, okay, this is the say all and be all. I'm going to go buy Corvettes and studios and all this other stuff and everything, and you in a lease program. No, man. Because I done got comfortable. Go over there and get that truck. Go over there and get that, and even then and stuff. Don't get comfortable. Get the money necessary and stuff because, hey, when those things begin to dry out or whatever, then hey, look, it's time for me to adios. But I ain't got to give nothing back except his little stuff, his computers, his base plate or whatever and stuff like that, and then I just move on. But I got everything needed and necessary and stuff to put my plan into action. I got a good fallback. $1,100-1,200 a week for a truck. It's ridiculous. You can get that same truck because some people don't even know, they don't even know stuff that they qualify. They figure, oh well, the truck is so expensive. This truck is so expensive, it ain't no point in me even trying to fill out a credit application. Dude, I went in back in 2000, let's see, after the end of the recession in 2010, I went down there and started filling out applications and stuff, man. I was getting approved left and right. And I think I didn't even know what my credit score was. But I was thinking the same thing. I was in a lease program with national carriers. I was in a lease program with national carriers getting robbed. But you know, what I was saying, well, I ain't gonna say I was getting robbed. It was the expenses was just too high. And I said, man, shoot, national carriers, it's okay if I can get these expenses and stuff down. So when I started doing my due diligence, my work and stuff, I said, all right, I got to get this overhead down. This truck is too expensive. They wanted me, you know. Now when I signed the lease with national carriers, it was for 92 weeks in a 387. It was a 387P to 2006. I went to national carriers in 2008. They was going to sell me the truck at fair market value at $41,000 at 16% interest. I thought that was the only way that I could get a truck in the lease program. I went in it, and so right before the lease was up and stuff, the recession hit, and so now they had to backtrack and say, well, you know what, hey, we can't sell you the truck, but I tell you what, if you lease the truck for one more year, we'll drop the payments down and stuff, and you only gonna be paying $1,800 a week. I went from $525 to $460 a week. You pay that for one more year and stuff, and then we'll sell you the truck at $31,500 at 16% interest. But what they really wanted me to do, they wanted me to get out of that. They wanted me to get out of that 387P that I stayed in for 91 weeks and fixed all this stuff on this truck to get a W900, same color. Oh man, it's a prettier truck. Look at it, man. You'll be stepping out there like the big dogs and stuff like that. And then they telling me, oh, we can guarantee that we'll sell you the truck after the lease and stuff is finished. I got a contract saying that you're going to sell me this truck. What the heck do I look like? And stuff? Check this out, fellas. Hold up, let me show you something. Guess only in New York, huh? Getting into this W900, and you was telling me that I was going to get this 387 after I finished this lease up. What's to say that I'm going to get into this? What's to say I'm going to get into this truck and I'm going to run to the same thing? Yes, a nicer truck is getting $15 more than what I'm paying in this truck here currently. But you know, I'm trying to get ownership. I'm trying to get ownership and stuff. And so, you know, even with this contract, you still, you know, the recession hit and stuff like that, and well, you know, all bets are off. So what's to say and stuff that this situation right here is going to happen? Well, you know, they tell me with those W9s and stuff, you know, they can't return them. They don't have a no return. They have a no return process. With the 387s, they can return them back to the buyer. I mean, to the seller. That sort of nonsense there and stuff. I said, no, you know, it's best for me to go and get a truck from the bank. And they hit me up when I went to go get my first truck. I got hit with I was hit with 20% interest. 20% interest. I bought a truck. They financed this truck. It was $27,500. Unbelievable. The truck was $27,500 and they financed it at 20% interest, and my payments was $946 a month. $946 a month. Paying $535 a week to $460 a week to paying $946 a month. So you see, they gave me, it gave me a better understanding to the fact that, well, hey, listen, I thought with me not having no credit, and stuff like that, that was going to keep me or hinder me from purchasing equipment and stuff, and that was false. And this was after the recession. I even went to one place in Nashville. They're closed now and stuff. I qualified for the truck where I didn't have to put no money down. Of course the truck was used, but I qualified for the truck for no money down, and I was going to be paying $735 a month for the truck. $735 a month. So, they said, well, the process is, if you want to get the truck paid off quicker, right, then you're already used to paying in your lease. And stuff this amount right here. So if you double up your payments, you'll have the truck paid off in 2 years instead of 4. Or you could just go with the safety net, right? You're not really paying anything, $735, and then you can use that extra income and stuff, the money that you're saving, to make sure that if anything goes wrong with the equipment, that you'll have the money. So it can go either way for you. You got a truck, you're not paying much for it, or you can pay it off quickly and still be done with it. It's all on how you stand. Like I said, the truck was used. The truck was used and stuff like that, but they brought all the paperwork out. Fresh rebuild. Some fresh rebuild and stuff on the engine and the transmission. They were the people that did it. The parts and stuff was under warranty. It had brand new everything on it, brand new brakes, brand new tires and stuff like that. The only thing he said, when I test drove, I said something wrong with the air conditioning. He said, I'll have that fixed by the time you get back. Do we have a deal? But see, why I hesitate on that deal and stuff there, because I had plenty of other deals that was on the table. Plenty of them. And this was from a person that didn't have any credit. And so, what I learned was the difference between having bad credit and no credit. They say actually having bad credit is a good thing. It's better than having no credit. But even with that interest rate and stuff, that's what I was paying. $946 a month. On a truck, $27,500. Now see, if I ever ran into a deal like that and stuff, now with the information that I know, things would be a lot different. But because the information that I obtained, through my times, through my struggles, I put this information out there to the people and say, let us network on that. Not to say that I'm better than anybody and stuff like that. It ain't about me flossing or nothing like that. But hey, if you floss, hey, if you paid the cost, you can be the boss. I know how it feels and stuff like, you go from a position of not having nothing, and then now you got a house, now you got that car that you wanted, you go on that vacation, you got to show people something as a testament to your hard work and your ingenuity. There's nothing wrong with that. If that's your thing. But we just we gotta stop getting into our feelings and stuff like that when things don't go our way in this industry. Things don't go our way in this industry and stuff, it's always somebody's fault. Man, oh shoot, Chris over there, RTS, man, that's his fault because he a crook. How is he a crook? Give me the signs of the crook. But they can't give you that. They can't give you that and stuff. I'm like, man, shoot. If I give you a break, just like I was talking about, the Woody situation and the Woody situation, the Trucker Brown situation. Hey, through their own admission, they spoke about these things. I'm just simply giving you the breakdown. That's it. Okay, why did things and stuff go so bad and stuff like that? Oh, well, there's a situation there and stuff. Yeah, some of it has to do with Chris. Some of it has to do with the people that's involved. You know, Woody, he had to take his. Trucker Brown had to take his. You put the information out there. Some people I'm going to protect and say, well, you know, because of their lack of knowledge, I'll protect your identity. You know, but then you know when it's going to be a continuation, when it's going to be a continuous process and stuff, then yeah, I have to put you out there and say, okay, let's talk about it. Because you know you got people that aren't doing their due diligence and stuff, and then they get caught up and saying, you know, okay, this information that he's bringing out and stuff, but where's the science behind it? Where's the science behind it? Because you're confusing people right now and stuff. You're just getting people a lot, you know, real emotional when you shouldn't. When emotion ain't got nothing to do with it, man. Business is business. Let's see. I read prime contracts and say no, thank you, but others are lazy. Um, here's the problem. Here's the problem that I have with companies like Prime, RST, and a lot of other lease companies. And I'm gonna give you the breakdown on that too. Right now, how do you expect to make money when they're not they're not giving you an understanding from the inside on how the money is made? They're not giving you any kind of breakdown on how the money is made, because if you knew how the money was made, then you can make a more accurate decision about anything and stuff that comes your way. They don't understand the fact that everything that Prime does is under contract. So they think like, well, okay, I'm sitting over here in the truck stop, don't have a load, I'm being punished. That's not how business works. Because I'm sitting in the truck stop being punished, there are some things that are going on behind the scenes that you don't see. But because of you talking so much, right, and being emotional, it doesn't give you the opportunity to see things for what it is. The reason why your truck is sitting in the truck stop is because it's actually making money for the company to sit there. Because when you have a contract, you have an obligation that you have to fulfill. Now, they may have customers in that area that's saying that they're going to be pushing out X amount of loads and stuff a day. This is how contracts and stuff are forged. All right? I'm a customer. I'm saying, okay, I want to go into a contract with you and stuff so that you can be my primary transportation provider, because I'm pushing out 5 loads a day. So five loads. I'm pushing out 5 loads a day every day for 7 days. So I'm gonna need 5 trucks. I'm gonna need 5 trucks to cover these loads and stuff. And so what the carrier does is that they look at it. They say, all right, these 5 loads, where are these loads and stuff going? Okay. So then the customer says, well, these are where the loads and stuff go, so on and so forth. And so if it's in their operating region, they're gonna make a decision either based upon two things. They say, well, hey, I'll get these loads and stuff, and then I'll be the one to cover them with my trucks and my trailers, or I'm gonna take your contract and stuff, and then I'm gonna just make sure that I have trucks and stuff there to cover your loads. All right. So if it's something that's doable and stuff on the side of the carrier, then they go into a negotiation contract and stuff, which they start talking about money. All right. They start talking about the money. All right. So once they reach the agreement, the contract is signed based upon how much time they want to do it. A carrier may say, well, if you want me to cover these 5 loads for you every day, then if you sign a year contract with me, this is how much your rates will be. If you sign a 2-year contract, if you sign a 3-year contract, if you sign a 4-year contract, so then now the customer goes back and say, well, let's see if I have something that can fulfill that. Is my customer base going to be strong enough? So I'm gonna just go with a year contract. So this is how much you're This is how much you're gonna be right here and stuff. Pay now. Pay now. Okay, so once the money is paid, then the carrier has the money, and that's what they're working with and stuff. So they saying we're trying to keep as much money in here in the house as possible. So what is it going to be? Is it something that we can cover? Then our trucks are going to be over here. So I'm gonna have my trailers and stuff in position. So I'm gonna have my trailers over here in position, so my trucks don't physically have to be there, but the trailers and stuff are there. So once they're loaded up and stuff, let me see. I may have to put a yard jockey and stuff over there because they don't have one, or I may have to contract one. So they either contract or they'll put a yard jockey and stuff over there, have those trailers and stuff ready. So they got those 5 loads and stuff that come out there. But let's go in a little bit deeper. Let's just say this customer says that instead of pushing out 5 loads, they're now pushing out 7 loads. So that's 2 more loads extra that they're pushing out, even though the contract says 5. So what does the customer do? Since I already got a contract with the carrier, let me call them first and see if they can cover these 2 extra loads and stuff that I have. So then they call the carrier. The carrier will say, all right, this is the rate that is going to be and stuff to cover your 2 loads and stuff like that. Being the fact that I already got you as my primary transportation provider, right? I already know you're going to send the 2 trucks over here. Fine, let me do that. Now, if they find themselves in that position where it's happening consistently, then they're going to renegotiate the contract and say, well, hey, I know that we talked about 5, but I need you to cover these 2 more loads and stuff under a new contract instead of me paying an extra fee, just like I would if just like I would in a phone service when phone service used to give you 600 hours, right? They used to give you 600 hours, and then anything that you spoke over, anything that you talked over, you had to pay an overage fee. Well, it's the same thing with these contracts. I know you said 5 loads, you're pushing out 2 more and stuff like that, so this is my fee and stuff outside of the contract. But since I'm pushing these loads out and you already pushing my 5, let me cover. Can you cover me for these other 2? We're gonna renegotiate a contract and stuff and say, well, since you're already a transportation provider for me and I like the service that you're providing, let me get that 2-year contract now, or let me get that 3-year contract now. Okay? The same issue, the same thing applies if they say that they're going to be pushing out 5 loads and they only wind up pushing out 3. The contract says that you're going to be pushing out 5. So 3 trucks are going to move, 2 are going to sit. But remember, they got paid for 5 loads. So the 2 trucks that are sitting, the thing is that they're actually supposed to get paid. But what happens is when they're sitting there in the truck stop, the walls and stuff start closing in on, the negativity start phasing them and stuff, and so they start talking to their dispatcher, and then the next thing you know, they talk themselves right out of money. They talk themselves right out of money. So then, instead of just going with the program and understanding what it is, right? Okay, when you understand things from the inside, you, the driver, can begin to start negotiating things and stuff with the company. Because if a lot of times the carrier doesn't tell the truck driver anything, is because if they knew what the plan was, right? Sometimes people will just go against the grain. They'll just go against the grain and stuff instead of trying to, flow with the tide. Because trucking, a lot of times stuff, people are under the impression that they want to do things that they want to do and still get paid for. But if you knew what the plan and stuff was, hey, well, I'm gonna just throw a monkey wrench in that and stuff and say, well, no, I ain't even going over there, period. Which now puts them in a particular position instead of, understanding the business for what it is. Okay, we're in a partnership. You got these loads and stuff. You got these loads. I'm over here. You're providing a service to them, and I'm providing a service to you to get this service and stuff overall. So let us get this money together. But understand, this is a partnership. If we went in under that understanding right there collectively, then you'll know everything that's going on in the industry. That way, they won't be trying to hide stuff from you. They won't be trying to hide stuff from you. But we get into this emotional state and stuff, and then we talk ourselves right out of this money. But this is how contracts and stuff are formulated. Now, since we understand this process right here, let's understand some other things. Why is it, for instance, Amazon, for instance, doesn't have a primary transportation provider? Because they understand that their business right now and stuff, it kind of fluctuates. It's online service. But let's just say people say we're not going to be purchasing things online anymore. Retail is the way to go. So we're going to go back to retail. Well, then their business is dead in the water. It's not something that's secured yet. So if it's not secured, there's no point in us trying to secure a primary transportation provider. This is why when most people tried to go in there to secure those contracts, they never got it. People like XPO Logistics, people like New England Motor Freight, people like FedEx. When they tried to go in there and be their primary transportation provider, they shot it down. Even though they say, well, we'll go over here and we'll shoot some loads and stuff to you, but not enough to lock anybody in. So who are we going for now? Approved carriers. Approved carriers. This is why you see the trailer, but it's always pulled by somebody who's an own operator. So they saying, well, the condition for you to get inside here to pull our loads is that you got to have 3 trucks. So the own operators go in there and stuff, instead of trying to formulate something for themselves collectively, right? They just go right on in there. Okay, yeah. Well, it's work. We might as well just go ahead and get this money and stuff while we can get it. So so Amazon is looking at all the money that they're saving and stuff, and so they're able to invest into things like autonomy. They're able to invest in things like autonomy because they're saying, well, we got to build these fulfillment centers and stuff, and so these fulfillment centers are always by highways, easy access. You don't have to go very far and stuff like that. So then we'll invest in the technology. Okay, can we create some equipment and stuff that can self-drive and get from one point to the next? Look at all the money that we saving and stuff through transportation because we got these own operators that are in here that are, they don't have contracts collectively and stuff. They're saying, okay, I'll pay for this, I'll pay for that. But then they got a cutout point. This is Amazon. They got a cutout point to where they're saying this is the absolute high, this is the absolute low. And the own operators are in there doing the stuff in between there. Just like, the people that used to do home delivery service. They never got a contract locked in. So what do you see now? They're being all laid off. As opposed to them saying, well, we're going to cover our own home delivery service. They got vans and stuff right on down here in New Jersey, just as far as the eye can see. Getting them into them fulfillment centers and stuff like that, hiring people to go in there and to provide this service. But you see, with the money that they saved, they're moving towards seeing how self-sufficient we can be. Walmart, there's another one. Walmart's a little bit different. Walmart would at least give you a contract. But they're saying is that, Walmart, over the past years, they're saying, well, it'll be more efficient for us to hire our own drivers and stuff as opposed to contract everything out. So the only thing that we're contracting out now is the place where it's harder to get drivers. Because, they got distribution centers and stuff like that, but the distribution centers around there doesn't always equate to the amount of drivers that they have. So they say, well, yeah, we'll give the contract to this company here and stuff like that, and let them bring their own trucks over here. Then the trucks go over there and stuff, and they stay for a little while, and then they get somebody else, and then the whole process continues. But you see, you got to get in the inside to get an understanding of the outside and the whole business collectively. Because if you don't, then you're just guessing and you're getting angry and upset, and then you're making a video about these people are crooks and those people are crooks, and where's the science and stuff behind it? You don't have any. You don't have any. A whole bunch of cussing, fussing, and raising sand. This is our business collectively and stuff, and then we're talking about we ain't doing no networking. This is the networking right here. You got to humble yourself to wisdom. I mean, when somebody has wisdom better than you, you got to humble yourself to it. Doesn't make you less of a person because you don't know, but just say, hey man, listen, I don't know. I respectfully don't know and stuff, and this is why, I seek your advice and stuff, man. Try to get an understanding and a grip to what's going on in the industry and point me in the right direction. And hopefully, with the research that I do now, based upon this new understanding that I have, right, I can now speak on things and stuff intelligently. That's what it's about. Every time y'all, every time you see me doing a video, you don't see me at the house. I'm right here in this cockpit every single time in the same position, right here in this truck. I got my own, yeah. I got a truck with Lone Mountain. I'm leasing the truck. Yeah, I'm leased on, but there's a reason why I got to be out here. And the reason why I'm out here is because I'm not in the position where I want to be, but I'm trying to work towards it. I'm working towards this every single day. So I can't, you know, I'm not there yet. Because of me not being there and stuff, there's no point in me trying to be at the house. Because if I'm at the house, then that's depriving me from an opportunity to go out here and get the capital necessary to move to the position that I want to be in. That's why I'm out here every day. I'm out here every single day. But it's no cakewalk for me. I have bad days just as well as good. But when my bad days come, I don't sit there and say, well, yeah, I'm thinking about leaving the carrier, because you're gonna have plenty of bad days out here. But you got to look at it collectively and saying, well, all right, do I have the things necessary to take care of what I need to take care of right now? Okay, I didn't get the extra income and stuff that I would have liked to have, but I'm still taking care of things basically. Do I have enough to where I can cover things on my equipment? Can I pay my bills? Well, I have to roll with that right now. But things will get better. Sometimes, man, it could be my fault for me not being in a particular position. Sometimes it could be the faults of others. But I gotta always take this thing into consideration. I mean, it's not gonna always be peaches and cream. I can't deliver my load till tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I'm sitting over here in Bronx, New York, but I have to make the best of my time. I have to make the best of my time and stuff. Yeah, of course I want to be home, and be around, be around the family. You know, you want to do that and stuff. You want to be around that. You say, well, I think I could be more constructive and stuff there. But you got to make the best of your situation where you are. Don't sit there and be upset and angry and stuff. And oh man, this person ain't this and this person ain't that. Make the best of your situation. It's always something for you to do. You know, anything, man. I mean, if you're trying to, like I said, you're trying to learn about financial literacy and stuff like that. Talk to people like Edine Cole. What's that? Let's see. No, I'm not going to Hunts Point. Do you have to give your carrier 4 free hours? What do you, when you say for 3 hours? What do you mean? Like four? I have to give them 4 free hours, or do I have to give them? But no, no, I'm not dropping at Hunts Point and stuff. I'm going to Restaurant Depot, which is a little bit worse than Hunts Point, but not that bad though. 2 and 2. What, to get detention? To get, okay? Well, let's see. If I'm understanding correctly, no, I don't have to give them any time and stuff to be compensated for work that I do. Okay. Yeah, I don't have to give them any kind of time for any kind of work that I do. I don't believe in detention though. Even though people say that you qualify and all that stuff there, I don't believe in it. I never got it that way. That way, see, when I say I don't believe in it, I don't believe I'm gonna get paid for it. But I have an understanding that the people that I do work for and stuff will not. I try not to service people that are going to be holding me up for long periods of time. So I have an understanding of my customer base, and I try to be in and out of stuff as quick as I can and stuff. But sometimes things happen, but I never request detention. because it's a subject where I go back and forth and stuff. So what I do is I just charge a little bit extra for, if it's a customer that I know I'm gonna be there for a long time and stuff, then I just charge them extra for the customer. And that way, that way I ain't gotta have no discussion about the tension. And so, when that happens enough time and stuff, and that's the same thing I tell anybody else, if you're having a problem and stuff getting your detention, make sure that you have an understanding of the customer that you're going to and stuff. And the next time you start renegotiating the rate, then look at the time that you spent in there and stuff like that, and equate that in the next time and stuff, and just put that in the rate collectively. You get the whole thing. So if you know you're gonna be there for 4 hours, then what is your detention time? Not what they're talking about paying. What is your detention time? What do you feel you should be paid? And then you throw that in the rate and say, well, if they say anything about it, then you just be honest and tell them, hey, listen, I know I'm going to be there for 4 hours and stuff, so this is what I want. This is what I need. Excuse me, not what I want. This is what I need to get the job done, because I know this is what's going to happen. You keep your database and stuff of every customer that you serve, and so hey, when their name comes up again and stuff like that, you got to take the L on the first one, but they won't get you anymore. Now if they paid attention, then that's fine, that's wonderful. You keep that in mind and get your money. But for the ones who don't and they want to take their time and stuff like that, then the next time, because they're going to call you again, that same load is going to be up there and they're going to offer it to you, and there's no sense of taking it. It's no sense of saying, no, I ain't going to do it, get the money. But this time you're more prepared. Okay, I'm going to be here for 4 hours or 8 hours, so just go and get that money right off the gate. No harm, no foul. See, that way you ain't got to argue about nothing. What they gonna say? No, it ain't gonna happen. Well, even if it doesn't, I'm still getting my money, because this is the type of customer that they are. This is the type of stuff that I have to deal with. And then you pass that along to everybody else and stuff that do business over there. Hey, listen, this customer over here gonna keep you there for 4 hours, so I think this is a good rate and stuff in mind. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, we are in competition, but everybody needs to be on the same sheet, because usually they call on people, not the ones that do things cheaper, but they do things cheaper on the fact that they have no understanding of what they do. A person running up here on the Northeast for $1.50 a mile and stuff, when the average rate is $2.50, of course they're going to keep running them until he get an understanding of what the average lane rate is, and when he gets that understanding, he won't get that load no more either. And you still gonna do it for that $1.50? Oh no, no. The average is $2.50. So I got to get some get back and stuff, man. If I'm gonna do some loads for you now and stuff, you gotta be paying me $4 a mile. And guess what? If the situation calls for it, if it's bad enough, he gonna get that $4 every time. Because when they negotiate contracts and stuff like that, that's what they do. They get their money all the time. They negotiate their rates and stuff all the time and stuff. They get theirs, you got to get yours. But don't play around with it. Don't be sitting there all personal and stuff like that. And then on top of that, don't get up here on social media and talk about, oh man, this carrier is just the greatest carrier in the world because they gave you one good load. This is what they do. This is what some of these guys do and stuff, and they talk, oh, well, the company is the crook. 2 months ago, oh, they was the greatest company in the world. Don't put information out there and stuff, man, on people who have an understanding of the industry. You claim, this guy, he claimed he made $1,900. Oh man, I made $1,900, man. What the heck I look like driving somebody, driving my truck and stuff? I'm driving somebody else's for $1,900. Okay, is it 19 consistently? Because I'm like, all right, you're dealing with somebody and stuff who understands science. It's a very simple equation. If he's paying you, if you getting paid $1,900 to drive his truck, right? If you're getting paid 50 cents a mile, I'm gonna give you 50 cents a mile and 3,300 miles and stuff a week. That's only 16. That's 1,600 gross. So where's the other 300 coming from? If you're doing 3,300 at 50 cents a mile, you're a company driver. I can't see anybody paying anything more. You know, he's not doing it. He's not doing specialized. He's not doing just running general freight at 50 cents. I'm giving you 50 cents a mile. I don't know what he's paying, but I'm giving you 50 cents. You see what I'm saying? So when you start putting that stuff on out there, and then you're talking about this oh man, shoot, hey, I drive somebody else's truck and stuff, and this what I'm making here, man. You know, mathematics. That's something general. Don't put yourself out there to look like a dummy. And then you out here dealing with people and stuff, man, that's out here on this industry and a regular. Like, oh, you're doing so much better and stuff as a company driver. If that's where the money is, if that's where the particular money is in your situation, that's fine and wonderful. But make sure that the science adds up. Otherwise, that is stuff you're going to sit there and look like a dummy. 1,900. Okay, you're doing 1,900, but are you doing consistently? Because remember, I gave you 50 cents at 3,300 miles a week. Are you going to be doing 3,300 miles a week? Absolutely not. 3,300 miles a week and stuff, you ain't going to have the science. Let's see, Scooby-Doo got guys mad at him for that mess. Pay goes up and down. Okay. And you know, more, and like I said, more power to him if he's doing it. Let's see what the guys. The guys you speaking of say he's getting 60 and not 50. Okay. So 60 cents a mile then. Right. 60 cents a mile. Why is it not feasible? Because the industry isn't paying that much. The industry isn't paying that much, man. Who got a contract? Who got a contract? Yeah, Mr. G. Yeah, I mean, Mr. G88. Yeah, I'm doing good. But like I said, when you're dealing with this industry on a regular, who has that type of money where they can pay you 60 cents a mile? They got to have some heckified contracts, man. Let's be real about this. But we see carriers going out of business left and right. And then all of a sudden this carrier comes up and stuff, man, they paying 60 cents a mile, 75 cents a mile. What? Sometimes they even got freight on the market that's paying that high. By everything is said and done and stuff, and they're gonna sit there and give their total profit and stuff to you, a company driver. Come on, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense from a business standpoint. That person will be out of business faster than they go in it. The whole purpose of business and stuff is to make a profit. Otherwise, why are we in it? You know, because I mean, seriously, that's the position right there and stuff. So you know, it's like, you know, from a business standpoint, it's just not feasible. It's not. So just quit with the nonsense. That's that fantasy world trucking stuff that I was talking about right there. It's fantasy world trucking. In a perfect world, in a perfect society, companies will be paying companies will be paying, as a company driver, $3 a mile. Company driver. In a perfect world, in a perfect society. You got companies out here right now and stuff, man, can't even pay people. You know, like this whole payroll issue. Let's see, I'm making 50 cents at March, 737. It's crazy. So, you know, yeah, you know, hey, if you're doing your doggone thing, you're doing your doggone thing. But man, I mean, it just, dude, you can't be out there with that crazy tail logic. You can't be out there with that crazy tail logic and stuff, man, and then expect people to believe you. And then The next week you over here making a video about, oh man, I'm quitting the company. Shoot, if you a company driver making $1,900, and stuff, so and you complain about what I'm not getting home, but you're getting something. You're getting the money necessary for you to take care of your family, which I thought is the most important thing, because what's the point of you being home every day, right, if you can't provide for your family? What's going to happen is you're going to look at that situation, you're going to go out there and you're going to engage in something that you're not supposed to, and then you're behind bars. And then what good are you then? That's why I'm getting the truck. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? What, you there at the house. You there at the house, and everybody in the house hungry. Your child come up to you. Your baby come up to you and tell you that they hungry. And you can't go, and you ain't got no money in your pocket to go down there and get them nothing to eat. What are you gonna do? Tell the child, okay, no, you can't eat. No, you can't eat. You can't have the nice things and stuff that children are supposed to have. Huh? Me being your father, me being your guardian. You can't have those things. But I'm gonna give up making $1,900 a week to go back to do what? To go to the house and stuff and not make as much, because I want to be home every day to see my child. It's only gonna be one or the other. You're either gonna be a good business person, a bad family man, or you're gonna be a good family man and a bad business person. You can't have it both. We would love to and stuff, but that's just the truth of the matter stuff. Hey, you see billionaires and stuff all the time and stuff. You look at their children. Look at Warren Buffett. We were talking about him yesterday. Warren Buffett, billions of dollars, but he doesn't have a good relationship with his children. He doesn't have a good relationship with his children. In fact, it's so bad and stuff, man, that here it is. He got billions of dollars and stuff, and they are heirs to nothing. Nothing. That's flesh and blood. Look at all these billionaires and stuff, but then you look at the relationship that they have with their children. Now, growing up and stuff, I'm pretty sure that they can get anything that they possibly wanted. But the relationship and stuff between, the parents and stuff like that, it's very questionable. Steven Spielberg. And stuff, I think his net worth was like, what, 600 million? 600 million, but your adopted daughter wants to go out here and do pornography? Mm-hmm. Just saying. When it comes to the world of business and stuff, that's why, they talk about the inheritance and stuff like that. Hey, you want to give the children the world and stuff, but it's going to come at a cost. My father wasn't there for me. My parents wasn't there for me. They thought that the money was important, which it is. Which is the whole reason why they got out there and stuff. But they say what the highway to hell is paid. They say the highway to hell is paved through what? Good intentions. Sad fact, but a true fact. We love our children and stuff, man, and we'll do anything for them. But they're going to be affected one way or the other. We want to give the children the world and stuff, and unfortunately, to give them the world, we got to go out here in it. Get dirty. Get real dirty, grimy, and then we got to go and try to clean ourselves up and stuff, and present the child. Hey, here's this world and stuff that I want to give you. You got blood-soaked hands and stuff, but you got to clean them up. I said, I don't have children of my own, but I raised 5 of them. So, I might not know how it is to be child biologically, like see the children physically come into this world, but I definitely know what it means. When the child comes up and stuff, and they want the stuff, and then man, you can't get it for them. Christmas come up, and I can't get my child, and stuff, man. That PS3 they wanted. What kind of piece of dirt I felt like. Christmas tree and stuff, man. All Christmas tree and stuff, man. All empty and everything. I said, no, Jack, that ain't happening again. That ain't happening again and stuff, man. I spoiled the heck out of my children, but guess what? Couldn't be there to see them open up them presents, but I know they got them. I can hear all the joy and stuff in the background and everything. Hey James, I can't talk right now and stuff, man. I'm paying. I'm on this PS3 that you bought. The games and stuff you bought. They dressed all fly and fresh. Had to make up for that, man. Shoot. Son come, they call and stuff like that. They want dirt bikes and four wheelers and stuff like that. I mean, I know that's what I wanted when I was growing up. My father did for me. These children and stuff, man. They don't have a father. Nobody to depend on and stuff like that. I said, man, shoot, hey, somebody got to get it, because when they grow up, ain't gonna be no excuses. Well, I didn't, my father never did it. Well, he never did anything for you, but I did. So you know what it's like. Ain't gonna be no excuses. But the sacrifice that come with it. I just wish I could have did a lot more. But hey, that's what it is. Could I be home and stuff? Of course I could. But what good is it? They gonna want stuff and need stuff, and I can't get it to them. Just keep on holding on to those dreams and hopes and aspirations. Absolutely not. The other thing and stuff about the children I raise and stuff, I teach them the importance of getting a passport. I want them to travel. I ain't talking about just getting in the state and stuff, cause I mean, this is what I do right here for a living. I drive a truck. I drive a truck for a living, and I'm scared to go to the beach in a car. That's straight up. I can get in this truck and I can drive this truck anywhere, but you talking about me getting in a car and driving to the beach? I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I'm afraid. I'm afraid to travel. Or I can travel on some business stuff all day long. Okay, you gonna catch a plane out to Fort Worth to go get a truck, to go get a to handle some business and stuff like that. Yeah, I can do that. But you talking about me doing some stuff on a personal note? Last year I was talking about going to California. Scared me to death. It scared me to death. I sat there, put the money down. Everything was straight. All I had to do was just wait on my time and go. And every day it bothered me. What's gonna happen, man? My truck? Where am I gonna park that at? Where am I park the truck at? Is anybody gonna mess with my truck? Anybody gonna mess with my truck? My batteries and stuff gonna get stolen. They're gonna steal my chrome and stuff like that. They're gonna steal my tires and all that stuff there. It bothered me so much, man. I had to call the travel agent. You know what? Just, hey, I'm sorry to bother. Keep the money. Keep the money. Everything paid. You know what? You go. I can't do it. This is what that's the drawback and stuff, man. 18 years in the game. 18 years in the game and stuff, man. This is what happens. I see people going on vacation. That scares me. I'm afraid of it. Get on a cruise ship and stuff. Yeah, of course I could shut down and go on a cruise ship and stuff like that. But I'll be worried about this highway right here, this truck right here. That's why I be worried. It scares me. I will be absolutely frightened. And this is what I do for a living. It's a difference. But I say I don't want my children to have to go through that. of being afraid to travel, be afraid to have a good time, vacation, all that sort of stuff there. You know, but that's like I said, that's just the gist of the mountain stuff, man. You know, look, we gotta. I know I said I was gonna keep it about trucking, but you know, hey, that's just a little bit about me. That's a little bit about me and stuff, man. You know, there are things out here and stuff. I mean, and that's one of the things that frighten me. Me going out here and doing some things and stuff for me, that is a problem. I could do it for business all day long. Do it for business all day long and stuff. But you talking about me sitting at the house and stuff? I mean, I could probably stay home for about a day. That's it. I could stay home for one day and stuff. Even when I went home for one day, what happened? The water pump started messing up. Shut the truck off. I shut the truck off for 12 hours. Come back out. I got a puddle under there. That's how I think. Even though hey, I done had the truck almost 3 years and stuff like that. Hey, these things and stuff they happen. Last time I went home, the tensioner pulley messed up. The tensioner pulley played out. Had to go get that. And truck go home and stuff. Shut off again. Now it's the water pump. You know, I try not to be superstitious or whatever and stuff, but I mean, it's just when those things happen, your mind does kind of want to go over there. That's just my thought process and stuff. I mean, where you gonna see me most of the time out here on the road. Let's see what they say. You are a road grinder. That is what it means when they say once a trucker, it's in your blood. You don't know anything else. You feel like you ain't out there on the road grinding. You feel like you dying. Yeah, I mean, just like all right, Mike Tyson. What Mike Tyson said. What Mike Tyson said and stuff like that. That's how I feel. I'm like I don't want to be I don't want to be in that. But I know my time is almost upon me. My time is almost upon me and stuff. And I'm like, dude, hey, this is all I know. This is all I know and stuff. That man said, what he feel, even though he was he's a champion and stuff like that and stuff. And I'm like, man, hey, what they say, man, without boxing though. And I know exactly how that feel. But my thing is just trucking. Dude, it has its highs, it has its lows and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's an industry worth getting into and stuff. You can take care of your family. You can do all right out here. You can do okay out here. And people say, well, you can't, you ain't gonna be no millionaire. Yes, you can. You could be a millionaire right on out here driving this truck. Somebody gonna figure out a way, and watch my words. You are gonna see a millionaire out here. Heck, in fact, I mean, shoot, Woody may not have netted $1 million, but he definitely grossed it. He definitely grossed it. Uh, uh, my man Ghost still hogging, still hogging. He said he did 2 million. He said he did 2 million. So I mean, somebody, if you stay out here long enough, somebody's gonna net it. They're gonna say, man, listen, hey, I made $1 million, and they're gonna show it. They're gonna show the science and stuff behind it. You mark my words, man. You're gonna be somehow you ain't gonna be no millionaire. Shoot, why not? If you do the right thing. Oh man, but we got an hour and 4 minutes and stuff in here, fellas. Before I conclude, I want to thank each and every last one of you stuff for the likes, for the subscribes. Thank you for watching. Yeah, thank you for watching and stuff, man. Keep your eyes and stuff vigilant. Humble yourself to wisdom. Okay, because like I said, don't come out here acting like you know everything. Humble yourself to wisdom. If you want, seeking ye shall find. It's that simple. If you don't understand something, don't be frustrated with the fact that you don't understand it. You know, Sometimes you gotta look for information. It's not gonna be right there in front of you, like, hey, I'm information. You know, it's not gonna be information, especially good information. It's not gonna always be easily accessible. You know, some people don't. Time. Time and energy equals resource. And so, they don't. People don't want their time, and they don't want their time and their energy wasted. Because they could have been doing some. They could have been making some resource and stuff with it. But like I said, for the most part, man, information is good information is not always easily accessible. But if you put in if you put in your own due diligence, you'll find the things and stuff that you look for. If you look hard enough, you'll find the very things and stuff that you want. So I'm getting my truck tomorrow. Okay. Um, Let me know how that works out and stuff for you, man. I mean, shoot. Hey, if you need any kind of extra information and stuff like that, that's why I'm here. Like I said to the guy earlier and stuff that wanted to talk about Lone Mountain. I hope that you got my information off my page and stuff, like I asked you. I'm gonna jump on off here and everything. I'll be waiting for your phone call. I ain't gonna be doing anything and stuff for the rest of the day except, I guess looking at other videos and stuff like that, answering comments and stuff, and then, of course, digging my head and stuff into some more research. But that's just the gist of my day and stuff. So, again, fellas, thank you. I hope that this information gets out to the proper person so that they can learn from it, so that they don't, continue to be out here statistically putting information, you know, that could be counterproductive to the industry. I hope that my information was very helpful to you, that you learned something from it. And until next time, gentlemen, I always leave by saying this is your man right here, the one, the only, that beautiful Rhode Island Red Rooster, telling you as always, continue to do your own research, fact finding studies. Harness on your skills every day. Till the next time we talk, next time we meet, be safe, be easy, and peace out.